You good? Hello, everyone. Woo! Let's share the stream with the world. If there's anything you guys would like to say or post, we talk about wrestling here. We talk wrestling. Whew. There's full webcam and shit. But a lot of things have gone on in the wrestling industry, and I want to talk about it. Some stuff like, I don't know, Scott Steiner being hospitalized for like a while. Hope the dude's okay. And guy's all right. Hospitalized for he passed out, like, I believe, during an Impact taping. That's all I know. He passed out during an Impact taping. He's stable now, and we did not lose Scott Steiner. Thank God. I like Scott Steiner. I don't want him gone. Anyway, anything else happen in the wrestling industry? And I will look at the link. Any wrestling related thing you want me to react to, you can send me a link and I'll react to it. And we can talk about it. Let's check Twitter real quick and see what comes up. Let's check out the Elimination Chamber card real quick because I want to ask WWE a certain. We have only 7 matches confirmed. And we have Dana Bryan versus Drew Gulak. That match is obvious. Andrade Humberto, obvious. Alistair Styles, obvious. Profits, Rollins Murphy, obvious. And then we get these matches. Braun probably winning. Baszler's winning is obvious. And then we get the only one that I think might not be obvious is the SmackDown Tag Titles Elimination Chamber. That being Miz and Morrison are probably going to main event part of it. There's no match that's on the Elimination Chamber card that's worthy of main eventing. There's 7 matches. 7. And none of them are worthy to main event. I mean, want to know why the hell that happened? What happened? Why isn't no one main event? We have Natalya, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan. Now, out of all of them, the only people who have main evented pay-per-views are Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Those are probably going to be the last 2 in that match since they've main evented pay-per-views before. That's the only match that's probably going to main event. And what sucks is that we know Shayna's going to fucking win because there's no competition this match besides Asuka. And we've lost faith in Asuka. I mean, you can count them in the main, everyone being in the main event, but the Rumble match from 2018 does not count as a main event match as everyone's in it. So it doesn't count as a main event. And I'm going to continue to not count it as a main event. And let's also talk about Sami Zayn, as this is his first match wrestling since he stopped for some odd reason to manage Nakamura. That's how you know they've lost in Sami Zayn is because they don't push him. They don't push Sami at all. And that's how much faith WWE has lost in Sami Zayn. So much so that they don't want to fucking push the guy. I mean, come on. We have so much shit to talk about. You don't know. And then we get to these fucking... We don't know who's winning because that's the only one that can be confirmed as we know who's winning. That's the fact that we have Miz, Morrison, New Day, Usos, Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, Rude and Ziggler. I mean, that's probably going to be the best match. I mean, last time they had a tag team elimination chamber, it didn't end well. But I have a feeling this probably is going to be the best match because... And Miz and Morrison are probably going to be the ones that win. They're going to probably retain. Then we get to Street Profits versus The Experiment, Rollins and Murphy. I will continue to call them The Experiment because it's funnier to me. Now, Murphy and Rollins shouldn't win because, all right, let's talk real quick. Rollins and Murphy win the tag titles. Right? They win. Everyone shits on them. But when Kenny Omega and Adam Page win, who aren't a tag team at all, everyone is excited. Here's the thing. Both teams have very talented wrestlers in them. And everyone shits on the one from WWE, and AEW is the one that gets the hype. I mean, Adam Page and Kenny Omega aren't even a tag team. Murphy lost the belts, but Kenny Omega and Adam Page get to keep them. No. I'm sorry, but no. They had a great match at Revolution, but they need to lose the tag titles. And Adam Page just needs to turn heel. Aleister Black versus AJ Styles. I think that would be a good match. No disqualifications. It would be a good match if the OC does not get involved, which I have a feeling that they will. And it's going to suck for the fact that they get involved in the match. The thing I think would be Aleister loses to AJ, and then afterwards the lights cut out and AJ is confirmed to fight The Undertaker at Mania. Then we get Andrade and Humberto. Another match that can go either way, thanks to Rey Mysterio. That's what I think should happen. Then we get Bryan and Gulak, who are, I mean, come on. It's a bunch of BS. Like, we only have a few matches for Mania 36. Then Becky Lynch versus whoever wins said chamber match. Problem is, you don't have many main eventers to win the chamber match, and the one person you put in the match, there's one name that you put in the match, she's from NXT, that's almost, at this point, guaranteed to win the damn match. That being Shayna Baszler. No shit on Shayna. I'm not trying to shit on her. She's great, but it's too obvious that she's winning. She's been attacking Becky Lynch, meaning that she's going to win the match. And the fact that Becky doesn't back down from a fight and she doesn't interfere in matches just makes me think that she's just going to let her win. Which, I don't know, guys. Now we have to talk about AEW Revolution. Ooh. AEW Revolution. Because apparently I have to talk about it. All right. Here we go. Let's talk about AEW's women's division. All right. I think we need to talk about it. It's something that needs to be talked about because they're women's division. Because they don't have a lot of great signings for the women's division. I feel like they need a bunch of good signings. And if they're trying to rival with NXT already won the women's division department. Cody even stated that they're trying to work more on their women's division. Question is, they have to start working on it soon. I'm about to read to you guys. Actually, I'm going to read you guys the entire women's roster. And I want you guys to answer to me. Googling the entire roster. All right. So I'm on AEW's website, about to look up the women's roster. It's probably not going to end very well. Let's be honest here. It's a pile of shit. Let's be completely honest here. AEW's women's roster cannot hold a candle to NXT's. Let's just be real. Well, apparently AEW's scared of me roasting their entire women's roster because their website's not loading. All right, here we go. No, I'm only in a third of the men's. All right, let's go to the Wikipedia entry because that'll let me know. And it's going. Okay, here we go. So the women's rosters, they have a lot of women signed, probably more women signed than NXT has. Yet their roster still sucks. Like they have, hold on, let me count. They only have like 6 contenders to the belt. B. Priestley, Big Swole, in my opinion, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Nyla Rose, who is the champion, and Rio, who's not that great. I don't know if you guys knew. They're all like they're all on the women's roster and only get some more contenders, damn it. Make some stars. AEW is one of those companies who, in my opinion, that just is trying to give people like a bunch of opportunities. Like, it gives too many opportunities to people who don't deserve it. Like, in my opinion, Jungle Boy doesn't deserve a world title shot because when was the last time he fucking won a match? AEW has like a huge women's roster, but none of them are really stars. In my opinion, none of them. Don't have great of a roster. Like, they have too many popular guys. So I run a video game wrestling company who also has a lot of very big name guys. Like big name guys who I want to push, however, don't have enough time to push them because when you get in a seat to book things, you only have like, and you have like a show that you have a lot of guys who you want to give that big level opportunity, and you don't have, and you have like way too many, and a lot of them end up just not getting booked for like months. A major story. Like you want to book all these guys, and you don't have room to book them. I feel like the same thing's probably going to happen with like Colt Cabana. The only reason why Cody's on the show is because he runs the damn thing almost. Moxley's the world champion. Omega, Adam, tag champ. You want to book them in a good way. Sad truth is that by doing that, a lot of people are going to get left off the roster. In my opinion, AEW needs more jobbers, and John Smith and Alex Reynolds are those jobbers. However, I never really would have wanted to count them as jobbers because they shouldn't be jobbers. Like this Anthony Ogo guy has not wrestled a match yet. Just debut him as a jobber. Austin Gunn. I don't want him to be a jobber, but at this rate, he might as well be. Brandon Cutler is an odd, even though he's an executive content producer, he's big time jobber. He just lays down for everyone. Sema, very talented wrestler. Very talented wrestler. Barely gets booked, so I'm counting him as a jobber. Who else? Jack Evans and Angelico, jobber tag team. They're just a jobber tag team. Same with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Sadly, and it sucks because I like Jack Evans. He should get a major singles push, and this stuff happens when you don't have like a Wikipedia page. Doesn't even go to Jungle Boy. It just goes to Luke Perry's Wikipedia. I mean, that's low when your Wikipedia page only goes to your father. Jungle Boy, his stable, the Jurassic Express, all like trio of jobbers. The only one I could see getting a decent push is Luchasaurus. That's it. Kip Sabian, a jobber with a manager, sadly. And it sucks because I like Kip Sabian, and he's just going to be like that. Luther, this guy named Luther, I don't know who the fuck he is, so I'm going to count him as a jobber. Marco Stunt's going to be a little jobber. Michael Nakazawa, jobber. What? I'm just going to. Orange Cassidy, you'd think they treat as a jobber due to his gimmick, but they don't. They actually treat him as a good star, which is awesome. Peter Avalon, jobber. QT Marshall, they're treating him as a jobber. Sony Kiss, haven't seen that guy in a while. Haven't seen him in a while. So jobber, title status, but that's about it. Like, if you have nothing for any of them, then get rid of them. Leva Bates, jobber. She's just there to job. And she's a brand coordinator. Didn't they have like Rebel signed or something? Because I haven't seen her debut. Oh, she debuted. And she joined the Nightmare Collectives, which, guess what group's not together anymore? Yep. Nightmare Collectives. That storyline sucked, and it died the death it deserved. I am not getting hired by AEW, aren't I? If this video ever gets out, I'm never going to get hired by AEW, and if I do, I'm probably going to get buried. So it's good that I stay as clear away from AEW as possible. So I want to compare the roster to AEW to NXT. In my opinion, NXT's roster is better. Like, the whole thing is better. Because AEW has like, they only sign like main talent. Like, and their recent signing, Lance Archer, a major guy in New Japan, former NJPW, IWGP United States champion, lost the belt to Moxley. But the fact that he was a champion in New Japan makes him a major player in AEW. AEW has too many main event people at the moment, meaning that none of them are going to get booked as much. And if they are booked, they're going to get booked in some crappy story. while the NXT roster, along with NXT UK, has a mixture of people they can, they can bury, or guys they can like rise to the top. And the reason why they have more freedom to do that, even though they sign a bunch of big name talent like Adam Cole when they signed them, when they sign a bunch of these guys, the thing that separates NXT from AEW, and the reason I like NXT more, is because they have mid-card titles. The Cruiserweight title can be counted as like a mid-card title for like small wrestlers. North American title, the major like mid-card title for NXT. They have mid-card titles, meaning they can push guys who they don't want to push to the main event scene immediately. Like, they can push guys like Austin Theory. They can push Austin Theory. They can push Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, Dominik Dijakovic. I'm not going to count Finn Balor because they're going to do big things with them. So, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Guys like Keith Lee, Kushida, Leo Rush, Matt Riddle. Well, all those singles guys who go singles competition, and they don't want to give them like main event opportunities. They have a mid-card title to give them, so it's a win-win for NXT. And then, oh wow, NXT has more women's roster than AEW has. Huh. So they're, in my opinion, what AEW is too focused on is getting a bigger roster than NXT, in my opinion. They're trying to get a way too big of a roster for NXT, and in doing that, they're burying talent. Like, in my opinion, NXT is getting these women popularity by booking them. And with Rhea Ripley as like champion, they have all these people to book. And they book them quite frequently, even if they book some of them to job. Like Shotzi Blackheart, who lost this past Wednesday on NXT to Chelsea Green. Like, I mean, so what? They'll get more shots eventually. Now, I know you're going to say, but AEW can also get, these AEW can't get, like, women, blah, 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 blah. These AEW women can get shots eventually. And then I point at Leva Bates, Penelope Ford, and like the Bunny, which they renamed Allie to just be the Bunny. And I'm like, they're not going to get another shot. They're not. I mean, come on. What AEW needs to focus on is just bringing talent. And just get some local competitors if you have to. Just try and build these women up to be big stars like NXT does. I mean, they have jobbers for the women. They have Aaliyah, who I sadly have to count as a jobber. They have Casey Catanzaro, who I also have sadly count as a jobber. Kaden Carter, I don't know who the fuck that is. Santana Garrett, who I don't want to count as a job. Well, she's technically Vanessa Bourne, Xia Li. I can count as jobbers. I don't know how the hell Xia Li got into a second Rumble. Blows my mind, the fact that she made it to another Rumble. I mean, come on. Like, sometimes you need jobbers. And then there's guys who I think should just get the fucking axe to leave because they're not going to get pushed anytime soon. Some of those people are this Tino Sabatelli. Like, when was his last match? Tino, when was his last match? Like, years ago? His last match was like years ago before he tore. Wait, what did he tear? Tore his pectoral muscle, and he has not wrestled since. In my opinion, he just retired. That WWE are not just gonna. Maybe he's been healed for the longest time, but has not been cleared to compete. And when they do clear him, I don't think he's been that big of a wrestler, popular enough to push. I mean, come on. Then we go to. Then we compare both those rosters to like Honor and Impact. And maybe even New Japan. Now, New Japan does not have a women's roster because the highest Japanese promotion for women is Stardom. That's the best they have, is Stardom. And then you get a mix. You get Adam Brooks, who I've never heard of. You get Andrew Ever, I heard of him. Bandito, the Beer City Bruiser, Brody King, Bully Ray. Dan Math, Dalton Castle, Delirious. You get Dragon Lee. You get Joe Hendry, Jeff Cobb, who is a freelancer, who isn't really signed by All Elite Wrestling. Like, I'm looking on the roster page, and Jeff Cobb isn't really signed to AEW, meaning he's a freelancer. He can go wherever the fuck he pleases. You get Jay Lethal. We get Jay Briscoe. The Briscoes, we get Flip Gordon. You get Marty Skrull, Mark Haskins, Matt Taven, Nick Aldis. I mean, they know how to use these guys. And only 4 of them have a Wikipedia page. What I don't get is the fact that ROH probably had some very not good differences with a certain champion of theirs, Kelly Klein, to the point where they just released her. All right, now we're going to go to Impact. We'll be right back at Impact real soon. Trust me. We get Impact, who have a bunch of great wrestlers. You get Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, Ethan Page. You get Joey Ryan. You get Ken Shamrock somehow. Josh Alexander. You get Michael Elgin, Moose, Rich Swann, RVD, Sammy Callahan. Tommy Dreamer, TJP. Willie Mack. You get all these great wrestlers like Petey Williams as well. Rich Swann's been injured though. Wait, Ken Shamrock's an Impact Hall of Famer? When? When the fuck has Ken Shamrock been an Impact Hall of Famer? They inducted him this year. Are you fucking serious? Okay, so now Impact have gone on to be every 2 years we're going to induct people. 2012 was Sting, 2013 Kurt Angle, 2015 it was Jeff Jarrett and Earl Hebner for some odd reason. 2016 Gail Kim, 2018 Abyss, 2020 Ken Shamrock, 2014 had a group, Team 3D, aka the Dudleys. Then you get to Tessa Blanchard, the female wrestlers, Tessa Blanchard, Jordan Grace, Jessica Havoc, Kiera Hogan, Rosemary, Madison Rain, Sue Young, Tanel Dashwood, who I haven't seen wrestle there in fucking ages, and Taya Valkyrie, who I'm surprised hasn't left yet due to the fact that her husband is now with WWE. Surprised she's not back in the fold. Now, I said we were going to be back at Impact soon, so let's just go to New Japan's roster and see what they're working with. I'm going to be both junior heavyweights and heavyweight division. Let's see, their heavyweight division. They have Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, who is like a jobber for the Bullet Club, in my opinion. Jericho, who is non-exclusively signed to AEW. Colt Cabana is also who's signed to AEW. Jeff Cobb's a freelancer. Hiroshi Tanahashi, they got Evil, they got David Finlay. Oh, the third, I'm sorry. They got John Moxley, who's just mainly signed to AEW. They got Kazuchika Okada, they got Kenta, Kota Ibushi, who I'm surprised didn't go to AEW with Kenny. Actually, they got Mikey Nicholas, they got Minoru Suzuki, they got Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, Tama Tonga Tangaloa, Sonata, Will Ospreay, who just went to the heavyweight division. They got Zack Sabre Jr., Yoshihashi. And we got all of them, and then you get to junior heavyweights. Oh, Yoshitashi retired? Oh. Kevin Kelly is a backstage producer for the show. Then you get to their junior heavyweight division, which we got Amazing Red, we got Bandito, Bushi, we got Chris Sabin, who was injured. That just proves that he's a terrible Bullet Club leader. We'll probably discuss that in the next episode. Next Saturday. There's going to be a Saturday series. We got Flip Gordon. We got Geto and Jado, we're co-head bookers. Hiromu Takahashi. We got Robbie Eagles, Marty Scurll, Jonathan Gresham, Ryu Lee, who is TJP. Is Villain Enterprises still a fucking thing? hold up real quick. Then we get to their young lions, which we got Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, yeah. So those rosters compared to AEW has a better like men's roster, but when it comes to most of the ones with the women have not that great of a women's roster. Now we have to go back to Impact because we have to discuss Scott Steiner. As if you guys didn't know, Scott Steiner collapsed after Impact taping. But the good news is that he is stable, he is up and about, and now he is expected to make a full recovery when they really should. I mean, he was one of the guys who tried to keep WCW alive. I mean, wrestlers. A lot of things happen behind the scenes of pro wrestling that are out of like the control of the wrestlers themselves. Like Bret Hart having a stroke, what happened to Scott Steiner recently, and then whoever's out of their control is mainly health issues. So thank God Scott Steiner's all right. And in my opinion, he probably shouldn't really wrestle because of his age. Wait, how old is Scott Steiner? Hold up. Scott Steiner. How old is he? 57. Yeah, you probably shouldn't wrestle at that age. That you can't help in the wrestling world. And it's not great for some. I just realized this stream is counted as gaming. It's not supposed to be. It shouldn't really be counted as gaming, so well, let me just change the thing from gaming to Now, the topics we discussed were the Chamber, the AEW NXT ratings. We got MJF flipping off a kid. How I would book Pro WrestleMania will probably be during Mania when we know all the matches for Mania. Now, Ricochet being buried. And what else are we going to discuss for the next while? That's probably going to be it, to be honest, because there's not really that much going on in the wrestling world. Now, I will confirm that Wrestle or now Saturday. Now, hopefully, we get to talk about some more stuff now. All right, now our next topic is the AEW NXT ratings. Now, the reason why I chose this topic as well is because NXT, AEW, they're having ratings wars, which in my opinion is not really a war because it's very one-sided at this point. It sucks on how one-sided it is too. I mean, it sucks. This week on AEW, they brought Jake Roberts. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on Team NXT mainly. Meaning I don't watch AEW, I watch NXT. But obliterated by AEW in the ratings. I mean, what were the ratings for NXT and AEW this week? Hold up. Let me check Brian Alvarez real quick. I am not trying to tweet out something. What were the ratings this week for AEW NXT? Trying to find the ratings. All right, AEW had 906,000 viewers, while NXT had 718,000. NXT is getting obliterated in the ratings. They're going to have to step up their game at this point. I mean, in my opinion, NXT is that's when it's viewership. Like, their viewerships are basically their ratings, and NXT are in the dumps for that. But when it comes to match quality, I think NXT also has that, though. NXT has that. Because when it comes to their pay-per-views, NXT, I think, is better than AEW's pay-per-views. And I love NXT, and I want to keep watching NXT. However, every time I watch it, I'm like, there's probably a lot more people watching AEW than NXT. And it sucks, too. AEW. It's some horse shit. I mean, I knew they had to step up their game, but I didn't know how to step it up this much. Next topic is and then after MJF did that, his kid flipped him off as well, which I thought was very fucking funny. This is going to be the problem one of the most hilarious things you'll ever see. I mean, come on. When's the next time you'll see a wrestler actually flip off a kid? I mean, it's unprecedented when wrestlers flip off kids. All right. Next up, we got Ricochet being buried. Okay. Now, this is just sad. Has Vince McMahon really stopped caring about Ricochet? Because if so, then that didn't last long. Like, Ricochet was being pushed to main event status, and then all of a sudden, you're getting buried on a weekly basis by Riddick Moss. And what sucks more is the fact that people actually just say that they're done. They're done with Ricochet. We're done with pushing him to the moon. He's not going to get pushed to the moon anytime soon anymore. When really, that's not really what I think would be true. I mean, yeah, he fell off the wagon because they buried him in under like 2 minutes to Lesnar, but they were trying to build Lesnar and McIntyre. Sad thing is the fact all right, I lost what I was saying. Shit. What was I saying? Fuck. I lost my train of thought because I'm also on Twitter trying to search more things about wrestling, and then all people. And he didn't have to be competing for the 24/7 title. You go from competing for the WWE Championship, what the top belt, and losing that as well. My God, man. I mean, there's some stuff Vince can get away with, but then there's also stuff that he can't. This is one of the things where you're going to do it, but you're not going to get away with it. And the fact that he did it, he's just going to lose fans by like the minute, by the second. WWE has become unreliable to some wrestlers. I mean, they have brought us some great wrestlers, but then they've also shit on some great wrestlers. They shit on Ricochet. They shit on Aleister Black. The main roster, at least. NXT hasn't done that yet, thank God. Because if they did, then I would have been Team AEW. But thank God NXT stays reliable to some wrestlers. Team championships. Now, why am I talking about them? Well, because the fact that we haven't had a feud for them in a long ass time, and the fact that they're still active. I mean, Kairi Sane and Asuka are the longest reigning women's tag team champions, yes, but the reason for that is because they don't have challengers to compete for the belts. If you have challengers to compete for the belts, they'll be legitimate champions. However, they don't ever have challengers to compete for the belts, meaning they're not good champions. I mean, yeah, they probably are going to set up another one because on SmackDown, I think I heard Alexa Bliss say that she's calling out, like, there's also on Twitter that say that did Alexa Bliss just call out Asuka? And I'm like, about time that they fucking called for a feud for the women's tag titles. I mean, how long did that take? The last feud that was for the tag titles was from TLC. That was it. And that was the last time I believe the titles were defended. Other than that, they haven't been defended in like a long time. And it's fucking awful, the fact that they never get defended anymore. But they have to defend them at Mania. I believe that's just a must at this point. Last year, every title was defended at Mania that wasn't NXT related, and this year it looks like they're going to try and do the same thing. And it's just the fact that it took this long for them to be defended again is baffling. I mean, I know the women's tag titles are on both brands, but it's hard to build feuds for them because of the brand split. And the reason they made the titles was because I believe they knew they were going to do a wild card rule. I don't think they were ready for a major brand split again. And I think that's the end of the stream because we talked about all the topics I wanted to talk about, all of them. We talked about all the topics I wanted to talk about today. Tune in next week for some more topics. This is the first of many Wrestle streams, which you can count as like a solo podcast almost, but not really.